I think at the end of a week we should review what's going on. In Russia, you've got these three movements. You've got the active measures, the troll farms or the troll factories, the attempt to spread chaos, the attempt to spread disinformation, but I think not so much disinformation as simply to stir up to stir up dissent wherever and however that may be. So on the one hand, you've got the tenant stuff in Canada and America, and on the other hand, you've got the left wing stuff. You've got the right wing stuff in America. You've got the left wing stuff in Germany. So there's that. Then there's the disturbances around Putin's elite and the dismissal of Nikolai Patrushev, even if his son Dmitry was given some sort of elevation. Shoigu's vacillation, where is he, what's he doing? And then there's a third element, is the muttering on the outside among the oligarchs. The most notable one being Oleg Deripaska, who was at one point very close to Putin. Now, at the beginning of the war, he muttered, and he muttered again in mid-August in Japan, and he's talked about the war being mad and that it should be brought to an immediate close. It should stop. Why? Because, the oligarchs are feeling the pinch, and they are suffering particularly from sanctions, as indeed are ordinary people. Now, Putin and his little inner circle, I use Putin as a term rather loosely, as you know, but Putin and his inner circle are pretty immune from the sanctions. They've got a nest egg. They've got soldiers guarding the residences. They're fairly safe. And one of the problems with people who've been in power for a long time is that they have no idea what's going on. And you can think back to the seventh consulship of Marius, if you want to, the consulship where apparently he goes mad. That may not be true. That may not be true. But certainly madness seems to go with longevity in political life. Instability at the top. Of course, equally madness seems to go with brevity, as we saw ourselves with Liz Truss. Sir Anthony Seldon says that we will never see the like of her again. I strongly hope that's so. Liz Truss, who was able to manifest inanity in a way that was unique, and she still apparently seems completely ignorant of the damage that she's done and of her own failure. Apparently she told Sir Anthony Seldon she was writing a book as well, and then walked away, and he was somewhat baffled by this, and also he was in a party where nobody seemed to be speaking to him except for Liz Truss, who proclaimed her sentence and then disappeared into the crowd. I think there's a lot of that going on. What we're hearing is dissecta membra from mad people, whether that's we have perhaps a more limited number of mad people in Britain, Liz Truss, Nadine Dorries, Matt Hancock, a smaller group of mad people, Dominic Raab, but there are a greater number of mad people collected around Putin. And we are hearing whispers of madness and frustration, and that you keep people silent and under a sort of pressure cooker for too long and they start whistling. And that is probably what we're hearing. So it is interesting. The steam is building. And also, of course, maybe a fourth point, we're hearing the threats about, the saber rattling, which used to come from Medvedev, and now it seems to come from minor out-of-work generals. But they've got to have something, I suppose, to do to justify their medals.